Welcome to the Great Girlfriends podcast, where we discuss life, love, laughter, and everything in between. I'm your host, Sybil Amuti, and I can't wait for you to hear all of the Great Girlfriend magic on today's show. So without further ado, grab something great to drink, grab your pen and your paper, and get ready for this week's episode. Happy Wednesday, Great Girlfriends. Let me do a little
Six.
Happy
Hey,
Wednesday. I hope you're having a magnificent Wednesday, no matter where you are. We have a rising, actually, audience in Michigan, outside of Grand Rapids. So shout out to that very small community outside of Grand Rapids. Glad to have you here as listeners of the Great Girlfriends podcast and all of you around the world. I'm so excited because, as you know, I've been doing a series called How She Does It, or How She Did It, rather. And it's all about pulling in sisters from the Glossy Posse, Support Your Girlfriends organization, to talk to them about different success stories, whether it's success in business, success in relationships, just success in your peace and well-being, how you find the blueprints that can help you pave the way towards a better quality of life. That's what this has been all about. And so we've had some really amazing stories. If you have not listened, go back and listen to Karen Mitchell, who talks about true Indian hair. Go back and listen to Alicia Reese, who talks about designing a life you love. Go back and listen to Deb Marshall, who talks about New Jersey real estate and how she built her brand and her business, and she made her pivots. And today I want you to grab your pen and paper, and join me in a conversation with celebrity intuitive, author, great girlfriend, home girl, Dr. Natasha Leath. Talk to Tash. Hey, girl. Hey.
it's my sister. How are you? I'm so happy to be here. This is amazing.
I'm so happy to have you. This has been a long time coming. We have been planning this
Oh,
off and on, and I'm so glad we were able to make this happen. And you look so fly.
thank you. I had to represent New York with the hat, guys. So I'm welcome. Thank you, Sibs.
Shout out to New York. Shout out to her borough. Shout out to Queens.
Yes,
I love it so
always
much.
up in New York.
I know. Always rep New York. And you should, because New York, I miss the East Coast so much. I do. I love LA. I love it. I'm so glad to be here. I miss the bodega. I miss the energy. I miss the accent. Remember, I told y'all on the last trip, I was like, I'm just soaking up all of these New York accents. Like, y'all don't
Yes,
understand. This is feeding me right now
yes.
because
You
I'm
know, you
so
can
used
always
to
come
that.
home to visit. We're always here for you. Open arms with Glassy Sisters. We love it.
I feel it. I feel it all day. Tosh, you do amazing work.
Thank you. Thank you.
Amazing work. You've been doing it for years. You do it on radio. You do it with a lot of high profile clients. You do it with a lot of sisters. You do it with a lot of people who are just in different stages of life and need to seek strategy and wisdom and insight and kind of draw from your gift. How would you describe yourself if you had to give a descriptive of who Tosh is and what Tosh does?
So I like to say, to your point, I am the homegirl, right? I'm from Queens, New York, and I just so happen to have a prophetic intuitive ability that gives me the reach to be able to identify more than what lies on the surface. And so what does that mean? People would say, are you a psychic? No, I'm not a psychic. I'm not a medium. I do not read tarot cards. I have a prophetic gift where I can literally look at you, speak to you, look at a photo, and tell you everything about your life. So I call myself the gifted girlfriend.
I love it. Come on, gifted girlfriend. That
With a
works.
girlfriend. Yeah. So yeah, I'm an intuitive. So my brand, I'm a celebrity intuitive life strategist because I use my prophetic intuitive ability to support people in strategizing their lives.
Mm. So when you do this, Tosh, you're on all week with clients, hour after hour, giving people sort of insights, wisdom, and direction, pointing them towards their North Star, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
So,
I
oh,
speak to an average of 70 to 100 clients per week worldwide.
goodness. So
Mhm.
what does self-care look like for you?
So family and friends, that's number one, right? That is always my healing place. That is always my self-care. You know, my family, they are number one in my life always. So that
Yeah,
is a place that I go to for peace, to
yeah.
feel some sort of normalcy. And of course, my girlfriends, the Glossy sisters, whenever we get together, we get to let go of all of the work, being a entrepreneur, being a wife, being a leader, having to just be around people. We can just let our hair down. And like that's my peace. And of course, naps. I love to sleep. I take a nap every single day from 3 to 4. I never miss it
Wow.
because my body is programmed to rest. I'm on the phone from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday at night. So I have to have a break in between that I can actually rest my body.
Oh, I love that. That is so good. I don't know how to nap yet. I'm still working on that. I do. I
I
have to.
have to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to. After a certain time, I'm just completely done. I mean, imagine speaking on a phone from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. straight. I mean,
Mm-mm.
my calls are back to back, one client to the next. And this is different people's lives, different energy, different experiences. Everything is different. So I
Right.
need a moment in between my day to recharge.
Yeah. And this is you pouring out all day. This is you really distributing and releasing all day. So
Yeah.
when you talk about being an intuitive, and I think about intuition, I want to know if they're the same. How would you describe intuition versus being an intuitive?
So intuition is something I think all of us have, right? All of us have a natural instinct intuition where we know what's right, we know what's wrong. It's that gut feeling. That's an
Yeah.
intuition.
Hmm.
Intuitive is more for me prophetic. I'm a prophet. My gift is God given,
Hmm.
where I have the ability to know things in your life without you telling me,
Hmm.
ranging from your past, your present, as well as the possibility of your future. So that's way deeper than intuition. That is me literally knowing your life, the roadmap to your life, and pretty much giving you the cheat code. So that's a huge difference between the both.
Mm.
In
So
between.
then, how do women learn to know the difference and trust the difference between their intuition and needing an intuitive to sort of create support or like provide the roadmap?
Yeah, I mean, intuition, I'm going to use a relationship for an example, right? You can be with someone and feel like things are not going good, right? You can
Yeah.
be with someone and say, this relationship doesn't feel that healthy. It feels like it's going left. Great, that's your intuition. The intuitive portion of I need extra help is how can I fix this problem? How
Yeah.
can I receive confirmation in terms of my relationship that it is going left? And is there anything that I need to know to support it with going the right path or not? What is
Mhm.
the extra confirmation that I need to say, where is my relationship going?
Yeah.
Is it worth me putting in the effort? The intuition is there, but what is going to be the end goal for the situation? So that's the huge, separation between the two. I'm going to give you guidance in that situation.
So I feel like as women, we get stuck in the roundabout oftentimes because we have not learned to trust our own intuition first. And
Yeah.
then it means that we lack confidence in our decision making. Do you feel like you run into a lot of that with clients or specifically women?
Oh, yeah, I mean, 70 to 80% of my clients are women, right? Because women, we're always the one who want to know. We want to
Yeah.
know what's our
Yep.
life, what's my career, what's our love life. We want to know, right? So absolutely. I do feel like, women oftentimes want to know, we need to know about our intuition, but it's the matter of us actually following it, right?
Yeah.
Women naturally, again, we have this automatic intuition, but we really don't follow it in most cases. And sometimes that gets us in trouble. So I think going to an additional resource, such as myself, to figure out actually what that is, that's an investment in yourself.
So let me talk a little bit about that trust issue because when you say we don't follow it, I hear we don't trust ourselves or we don't have the confidence in ourselves to know that we can make a sound decision, like that our intuition can be a guiding voice or that we can trust the clarity we have to be enough.
Mhm.
What do you say? Like, what do you see and experience in that space? Do you
I
feel
think
like, why do women, why is that for women?
I don't know. I think as women, we always are thinking about a million and one things when oftentimes we shouldn't. We're always thinking 10 steps, 100 steps ahead. That's just us naturally, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes we have to be okay with taking a pause and saying, this is not a priority. This is not important. Let me focus on this. I think women oftentimes have an issue with prioritizing, right? We want the love, we want the career, we want the family, we want the house, we want the dog, we want the kids, we want it all. But where is the strategy and a priority in your life for what you need and being
Yeah.
okay with the time frame? We want everything yesterday, right? It doesn't happen that way. Like be
Why,
okay.
Tasha? Why? I'm playing.
Right. I mean, be okay with the specific timeline of
Yeah.
thinking ahead, going ahead, moving ahead. That's very important for us to be able to identify that. Huge.
Mm.
Right.
That's something you talk about that timeline. That'll preach because that is the thing that I think. I even talked about this on the podcast with Alicia. People are so challenged by process. There is no patience for the process, and people don't respect it. So they want to skip the line and get to other things to make sure they can have that full picture. But everything takes time if it's going to be bloomed and birthed in the right way. And trusting the process is a big deal for women. So we get anxious, but then sometimes we give ourselves too much time.
We
Sometimes we
do.
take too long. And so you got so you have two groups there. One who just gets into paralysis by overanalysis, and the other who is just racing to the end. So with the paralysis by overanalysis, I run into a lot of those in the Great Girlfriends community because they just get stuck. They just
Yeah.
like they're stuck, they have a million ideas and they don't know which one to move on first, or they're stuck because they don't feel they have the support to make a change, or they're stuck because they don't feel clear, they don't have that clarity, and it creates this confusion. And so I see that other side too. When you see that stuck side, what do you say to the stuck girlfriend?
I tell the stuck girlfriend to lean into your support system. That's what works for me because I get stuck too, right? I'm an intuitive strategist, but you can easily get stuck in your stuff. Like it's possible to get stuck, right? So for
Mhm.
me, lean into your support system, lean into your network, be okay with receiving outside advice,
Yeah.
outside support, so that this way you can get a different perspective and direction of where you are. Because it's the stuck for me is about us being in our own heads. Right. That's what it is. It's about your thoughts, your perspective, your wants, your needs, but hearing a different perspective from someone else definitely changes things in terms of what direction to go into and gives you more of a guidance. So lean into your support system, lean into your girlfriends, lean into your friends and your family,
Mhm.
and that usually puts you in the right path.
Hmm. We have this big question I used to ask at the Great Girlfriends Conference, like, what's going on in your head? Is there a party up there? Is it a panic room up there? Are you organizing and cleaning all the time? Are you sleeping? What's happening in your headspace? Because that will dictate how you navigate in your outside world. So, what advice would you give to the girlfriend who says, I don't have the support system, Tosh?
Well, lean into outside resources,
Yeah.
like those people such as myself. They're a therapist, go out and create a network, right? My best friend and I just had an incredible network event, the
Yes.
BFF experience, right? Where we can have people come around us and support us and pour into us. Like that's the biggest thing. Create a network if you don't have one. There's
Mhm.
plenty of things going on, plenty of initiatives happening. Put yourself in the rooms.
Hmm. Oh, put yourself in the rooms.
Yourself
So
in the rooms.
important. So
Yes, I
important.
believe it. I mean,
So
it's taught me tremendously. Going to events, meeting with people, mingling, it taught me personally and professionally. You have to be in the rooms.
I met you in the room at Lucinda's
Yes,
event.
exactly. Right. You meet your people in the rooms. Like
That's
I've met some of
right.
my closest, dearest friends, Nakia in the rooms, Lucinda
Yeah.
in the rooms, you in the rooms. Like you meet your people and being in the room.
Yeah. So we've got a lot of girlfriends who listen, and I'm just throwing all the things that come my way at you, which is a lot of great girlfriends that are listening will say, my city is not like New York. That's easy to say, Sybil. You live in LA. Like you can say these things. And so many women are in hiding. They just haven't found their way out of the labels. They're hiding behind a title at their job. They're hiding behind a title of mom or wife or caretaker or whatever it is, they're hiding behind that title and they're not owning their identity. And
Yeah. Yeah.
so, love on
Yeah.
her if you can. What would you tell her?
Yeah. I mean, I would just tell her, like, just first and foremost, loving yourself.
Yeah.
Right? I think that's the most important thing. I think people are often trying to figure out their way, and it's like find out what you want, find out who you are, find out what you need, and then that's really where the answers are. I think if you can identify that, that's when your people are going to show up. That's when the true group is going to show up for you. You can't be disheveled and all over the place and try to find a home because where is your home? Like you're not even clear with yourself, right? So get clear with yourself first, and then the home that's for you will show up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
That's so
actually,
good.
yeah.
How did you get there in your own life?
I just lived in my truth. I've lost friends. I've lost a lot of friends. I've disconnected from a lot of people in my life, because some people weren't accepting of my gift. They're like, oh, I didn't know that this is what you were going to be doing 24 hours a day. Like, I didn't know that this is who you were. I don't like going to brunch with you and you're greeting the waitress. It makes me uncomfortable. And I'm like, okay, well, then we can't be friends, right? I can't change who I am because you're uncomfortable with me being my true self, right? So I think being your own self, and that's with anyone, will help you identify who your people are also. Because if
Mm-hmm.
they fit, they fit. And if they don't, they don't. And if they don't fit, then they will fall off.
Girl, won't they? I mean,
They
they
will
fall. You like, girl, you just fell. Oh.
on the floor.
The
Like,
way
oh,
it dropped, you're like, what? They just, oh my, what is going on? But
oh
it
yeah.
happens. It's the truth and be good with it. Yeah,
The
yeah.
closer you get to your destiny and what God has in store for you and your purpose, you will lose people. And it's not personal. People serve a reason, a reason, a season in your life. And I believe in that. I have no regrets. And I'm grateful for every single last relationship, even for those that did not last, because it supported me with building my character.
Mm,
Yeah, and everyone. And I think everyone should lean into that. Don't be upset. Don't be angry.
yeah.
Be grateful, be gracious, for your what's next.
So, with the work that you do, Tosh, and the experience that you have with stories and just even the way you view the world, how do you sustain hope? How do you sustain belief? How do you sustain love and those things that are like very valuable to you?
I mean, pouring into people every day is what gives me that on a daily basis, right? Because
Mm,
I'm dealing with people's lives in terms of their careers, their marriages, their finances, health. And that gives me hope. It gives me hope that I have the answers and the resources to make their lives better. It also puts me personally in a different level of appreciation and gratitude because I'm like, wow, people are really going through it. It makes me love my family harder. It makes me love my girlfriends harder, to say like our situations are not that bad, right? Like we really have people out here in the world that are really going through it that has no one, no guidance. They have nothing. They're starting from a clean slate and they're leaning on me as that resource. So that's a constant reminder for me, to continue to pour, continue to have my cup full because I'm pouring in. And so that allows me to put more goodness out into the world.
come on, pouring goodness out into the world. I love it.
That's my purpose. Every time I talk to a client and their lives are better as a result of speaking to me, that fills my cup. That fills me up. That keeps me rejuvenated. It truly
Yeah,
does.
yeah.
Yeah.
So when you think about this climate that we're in right now, it's so sensitive. There's lots of politics. There's lots of complexities. This has been a real rugged year for Black culture. We've just been seeing a lot of things happening, and it's a stressful time for a lot of people and a lot of great girlfriends. The economy, we talked about that the other day. This economy has been just kicking folks' butts back and forth, and just it's been a lot. So, what would you say to the great girlfriend who's struggling to kind of get her footing right now? I know you
Yeah.
talk about leaning into community and resources, but the
I
mental space.
The number one thing, leaning into faith, leaning
Yeah.
into and trust in the process. Nothing is forever. Nothing is forever, right? And it's really pushing through and understanding that today is today, tomorrow is tomorrow, and next week is next week, right? And what you don't have control over today, tomorrow's another day to get it right. And just keep pushing and keep having faith. When you can't lean into your family, when you can't lean into your friends, you always will have them, I'm sure. But oftentimes you're going to have to lean on yourself in faith, right? Because that's really where it comes from. The faith of this is the season. I'm smart. I'm intelligent. I'm going to push through this. This is a part of the process and trusting the process, right? Like everything is not always glitter and gold, right? The most successful people in the world has gone through the most horrific times of their lives before they made it to the top. Read the Tyler Perry stories, read the Oprah Winfrey stories, read the Taraji P. Henson stories. Like look at their story before they made it. Read it. Be inspired because it's true. Nothing worth easy is having. And if it was easy, then everybody would have it. So I
Hmm.
think it's really the matter of leaning on faith and knowing your purpose and being clear on that and understanding that you're just going through a season and that alone will push you through.
I love that. You're so encouraging, girl.
I think so. But it's true, I
It
mean, even for me, I'm human. People think I don't go through things, which is weird because I see I have the answers, right? But it's like, hey, okay, this is my situation. I'm a divorcee, right? That's
yeah.
not easy to go through a divorce. It's not, but it's a part of the process that you have to go through to get to the other side. Sometimes you have to crawl through the mud to get to the sandy beach with the blue waters, right? And it's
Mhm.
worthwhile while you're sitting there getting tanned. It's like, ooh. That
Yeah.
was a journey, but you're there. You made it. You pushed through.
Yeah, and you never let that get you down, down, down. I watched you and I just honor you for the way you moved through, recognizing it wasn't an end. It was an exit, but it wasn't an end. Yeah.
No, not at all. It was the end and the beginning of something great. Something
Hmm.
that I made a choice to make room for.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what making room. And that's with any aspect, not just with relationships. That's with your career. That's with your finances. That's with your friendships. making room, right? And that's for you. And again, you won't know where to make room if you don't know what you want and what you need.
That's so true. That is so true. And I think we also, Tosh, as women, have to realize that we have capacity to love again and again and again and again, even when heartbreak has happened, disappointment, failure, rejection, those things happen. We still have the capacity to offer fresh love, generous, abundant, gracious, empowering love over, even when the friends break off. This new friend, Tosh, is worthy of the most abundant parts of me. You're worthy of the most beautiful parts of me. You're worthy, and I deserve to have that from you. Like we're deserving of that. It doesn't have to be the same story over and over again. And we have
No,
to remember that as women. We're the
yes,
ones that replenish the earth with goodness. That's us. That's what we do.
yes,
So,
absolutely. Yeah,
yeah.
we have to give each other with that energy. That's
Yeah.
important. And if it doesn't fit and if it doesn't make sense, then it doesn't make sense. And the old saying
Yep.
that I always put out into the world, if it quacks, then it's a duck.
Come on.
And it's that simple.
Come on. Stop trying to act like that duck ain't ducking. The duck is ducking,
Duck
hun.
is duck.
Duck.
It's a duck. It's not a
How about
cow.
it's quacking? How
It's
about it's
a
doing
duck.
all the things?
Right. It's that simple, right? That analogy. It's true. Like be okay with certain things for what they are. And if it
Yes.
fits, great. If it doesn't, great. Either way, it's okay. It's a part of your path. It's a part of your process. Either way.
So true. Girl, because women, we're good for like, is that a quail? Is that
Right.
is that a falcon? Girl, that's a
Right.
whole duck. Stop playing.
Oh, right.
Don't
Stop.
try
You
to
see
make
it.
that thing something. It's
That's it. It's clear. You hear it quacking. It's very clear. Right. So it's
oh
just
my gosh.
yourself, being honest with yourself.
Yeah. I
Yes.
love you. I love having this conversation with you. I would keep you all day, but I know you got to get on the hotline, girl. You got lives. You got to put the fire hat on and get the live going, and you got people to love and support. But for the great girlfriends who want to connect with you further, who want to unpack questions, who want to strategize, how do they connect with you?
Thank you. And Sips, thank you for having me, my sister. I
Girl,
love you. So proud.
anytime, any and every time. You just let me know when you're ready to rock.
Thank you. No, this is
Yeah.
amazing. I'm so proud of what God has in store for you,
Thank
for your
you.
future and your kindness and your generous heart and spirit. The floodgates are going to open. I just want to put that out there to you.
Mm.
But guys, please follow me on Instagram. My IG is talk to Tosh 922 spelled out TALKTO. 922. There was someone who tried to impersonate me on social media about like 7 times. Yeah, they keep creating fake pages on me.
Girl, come on, celeb.
I'm like, oh, Mama, I made it. I guess I made it, right? So
Hop
make
in.
sure you spell it out, right? And my Instagram is talktotosh.com.
Perfect. Your website, talktotosh.com. Okay,
Website, yes.
perfect.
My
Yeah.
website is
Okay.
tosh.com.
Awesome. Great girlfriends. Listen, I had a conversation with Tosh just this week, and it wasn't even a conversation. I had a session with Tosh.
Yes, yes.
Where I listened and I received and I asked questions and I shared my heartbeat and she turned it back to me with actionable solutions and I mean like actual tangible like girl call so and so talk to this person like get online and sometimes you just need that untangling of the wires is what I call it when you feel like you got all the stuff but where do you place the parts like how do you use them and everyone needs help sometimes. Every one of us needs it. And sometimes we wait too long. Don't wait too long. If you want to be proactive about things that matter to you, go ahead and make a call. Like do it in advance, right? Why not? Why not strategize ahead of time? So I love
Absolutely.
you, friend.
Yeah, let's do. And thank you. And thank you for giving me the honor of speaking with you. I'm grateful and for sharing your platform with me and having me as a guest.
All right, great girlfriends. Did you enjoy this week's episode of the podcast? If so, would you please give us your amazing review on iTunes? Every single review helps another great girlfriend get plugged into the podcast and the community. Speaking of community, make sure you join our Facebook group at The Great Girlfriends, follow us on Instagram at The Great Girlfriends, and on Twitter at _great GFS. I'm Sybil Amuti, and I'm out.